So warm welcome. So wonderful to have Lipika Choudhury, who's a trained yoga practitioner, sound healer, and founder of Mac Proactive.
Thank you so much, Megha.
Yes, it's exciting. So we'll dive in. So that's the first question. You
Yeah,
don't read out the question, just begin with the answer.
okay.
One sec. Yes, go for it.
So you're going to read the question?
No, you
Okay.
read it, right? So
Yeah, I did.
once, yeah.
Uh,
So
What
what
made
made
me
you
choose
choose
yoga?
yoga? What was the turning point in your life that led into it? I'll stop sharing and now you answer.
Okay, so Megha, actually, I was a new mom, and I have put on lots of weight, and I was into news. I was a news editor earlier with a company called KVH Media Group, and it was a hectic job. During that time, we had COVID. I had a very young kid with me, and I used to have three domestic helps, and all of a sudden, it was all gone. So everything was on me, and of course, my husband was also there, but the kid wanted me, and my job was hectic because of the news thing and COVID. We were we had too much work. Like when the world were enjoying their COVID period, like making dalgona coffee and other food, I was like in a mess kind of stuff. And that during that time, my eating habits and everything went for a toss because I was not getting time. I used to wake up at 6 and sleep at 10 o'clock. Like it was very hectic. So during that period, everything went off. And one night I was so sick. I could, it was a bad stomach ache. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't sit. I was vomiting and it was a very bad night. I still can recall. I had a small kid, like she was 2 years old. And we were so scared to even go to hospital because in the first wave, everything was closed. And if you're going to hospital, you're not supposed to come back. You have to stay there, do the test and everything. So my husband was like, "Ki, and how, where do we keep the kid? Because we are a nuclear family, and that time nobody can come and go. I cannot call anyone or keep my kid with anybody." So that night I was praying God that I bas aaj I would survive. And then that I had lots of water and everything. So by morning 5 a.m. I was little better. And so there was this sound that came. Sorry. So that night I just prayed that I just survive. And morning around 5 a.m. I got fine. But that was an alarming day for me, alarming night for me. Actually, I knew that something was very wrong with my health and I have to start with something. I immediately had a conversation with a nutritionist. And slowly, a friend of mine actually, she came as a God gift to me. She asked me to start yoga. So I started yoga at that time and there was no looking back after me. There were some problems which I never knew was there in my body, which started getting healed through yoga. So that is where I started yoga and I'm still doing it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So where I started yoga, Lipika, was that similar story, but like in your case, it was you being ill. For
Yeah.
me, my mother was diagnosed with stage 4, grade 4 brain cancer. And
Oh,
literally, the doctors had given us like 3 months to survive. And I
okay.
have a guru who I follow, Mahatre, and he said that no, she's a conqueror. She's going to fight it through. So it
Yeah.
was literally like a journey of faith. And then we also realized that you have to take a lot of action to make that faith work. So we also went through a complete diet change, as a family. And that's when we started following someone called Vijaya Venkat, Thak Wellness in Bombay, where she's
Okay.
known to have, healed a lot of people only through right food. And she's the one who suggested that, look, yoga has to become a part of y'all because that's such a big important factor for the body to rebuild itself. So, to all the cynics out here, I want to just say one thing that literally a woman who was given 3 months to live went on to live for 10 years with no medicines, not a single scan. And the only thing was like, of course, faith, which was the most important. And I
Yeah.
think the second and third was good food and yoga. So for me, when I saw that, okay, mom was going through all this, I was like, why should I go through this experience or fall
Yeah.
ill to start yoga? Let me
Right.
just take up yoga as a way of my lifestyle, right? And
Right.
it's made so much of a difference because literally I feel that um, it's been that one practice that's carrying me through no matter what I go through in life. So I think that's been my journey into yoga. So moving
Lovely.
on to the second question is
Yeah.
is so do you remember your first yoga session, especially given where you were emotionally or mentally at that time?
Yeah, I remember it was somewhere in the month of November 2020. 2020. So yeah, I when I started with my dietary changes and all with the doctor, so then there were few things that just went good. And before that, I had a full body blood test, and things were not fine. My vitamins, vitals, nothing was fine, which should. And then there was a ache, cervical issue. I had a severe cervical issue, which I ignored for very long years because I had a sitting job, and that aggravated due to the time of COVID because I couldn't rest and I was working, working, working. So yeah, I remember the day when I started yoga. Yeah, I just told you that I had a friend who suggested me. I spoke to her. I had a call with her. She just explained, and she was also going through something, and she started yoga and how life changed in her with her. So she said, "Ki okay, start this." Then I started, and it was somewhere in November. I started it, and during that time, I was not really very good. Physically, mentally was still okay because mentally I was so much occupied, I couldn't think anything else at that time because I was giving around 12 to 15 hours of the day going busy, more than that maybe. So I never had any time to think of, oh, what's going on. I couldn't register that it is just going on. And for physically, yes, it was going for a toss. Like I had multiple issues. My lower back, I had a severe pain there. I had an upper cervical issue. I started getting this what do you call dizziness because of the cervical thing, and that is where actually yoga helped. I went to many doctors, and then all the doctors, they diagnosed it is cervical. It is a lifestyle change you have to do some exercises because there are no medicines for cervical, but nothing helped. And I thought that it is not cervical, there has to be some other problem that is happening with me because I'm getting dizziness all the time and lightheadedness, dizziness, and it is really difficult that आपको हर time, if you're like having dizziness, it is like really difficult for a day to pass, and you can't take leaves, you can't, you have too many work on your plate, too many things. So yeah, that is the time I started yoga, and she really helped me. She is like an angel to me, guided me very well in yoga. And I have not trained under anyone. I started on my own initially, and in a month only I could see so much of changes.
Love.
And yeah, again, when you said it is faith and thing, that also happened to me. I just completely surrendered myself to yoga, and things just started. It took time. I won't say it just happened quickly. It took time, and over a period of time, things started changing. My body, I started losing weight. I lost around 16 kgs in 4 months because of the dietary changes, yoga, and of course, I used to go for walks. Nothing major gym or something. I was not doing anything heavier or harsh workouts. I was doing just basics. And I just uh, started eating clean and did the timings, did my yoga in the morning, early morning stuff. And of course, after that, I had started feeling a balance in my life also because of yoga. And yeah, that was the time I started.
Amazing. So
Thank
for me,
you.
I remember the first time I rolled out the yoga mat. It was actually in a classroom and it was a group session.
Yeah,
And I didn't know what to really expect because, okay, people talk of yoga, but I'd never experienced it. And this was almost 8 to 10 years ago.
yeah,
I just remember that, it began at a very physical level and like one exercise and the other exercise and the third exercise. But eventually, when, she came down to the calming down and the shavasana, what I felt within myself was so amazing, like so much at peace with everything, so much harmony. And I think that's what really made me realize that it's not just at a physical level, but at a very deep level, something has shifted for me, whereas, like, say, when you do a lot of other forms of exercise, it's at a physical level, you feel great. But somehow the first yoga session, how it made me feel at a cellular level, I think that's what made me feel like this is it for me, and
Yeah.
I want to really let go of this. So, moving on to our third question is that,
Mm.
how has yoga helped you navigate pain or loss? Does it work for people in distress?
Yes, it does. I mean, I have not experienced such kind of loss, I would say, but I had a career shift transition in my life that happened, and yoga has really helped me a lot, like especially the meditation and breath work. I would say, I would not I mean, yoga is people really confuse yoga with the asanas and the difficult this thing. So even initially when I started doing yoga, I was doing self practice. So that time even I had this fascination that okay, I want to do this difficult posture, I want to do this and all. But later on I went to Rishikesh to stay there for a month and did my courses in yoga, and then I realized, okay, this is something more to it. And yes, it has helped me a lot to, in many situations, honestly. And definitely, I would say that it does help people during their losses and pain or in distress, definitely, because in my life it has helped me in all the transitions, the big transitions that happened, my career shift, baby, and my health issues and all of the thing. And of course there was too many things on me, so maybe I was also having stress and anxiety in my life. So all of these things really, yoga really helped. I won't say that it just vanished, but over the time, due to the practices and due to the breath work and the meditation, all of these things, uh, you can say, just I knew how to manage all of these things. Yoga
Correct.
has taught me that, like how to bring a balance, how to manage all of the things, because these things are going to be there in your life anyway, in everybody's life.
Yeah.
But the problem starts when we just don't know how to balance it out or manage it. So yoga has really helped me to do that.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah,
So
thank
for
you.
me, I think, managing loss for sure, because I think when you're going through, like you said, loss is not just like, oh, a loss of life or
Yeah,
loss of, something. It's just big transitions that we go
yeah,
through. And I think in those moments, having one anchor, so for me,
yeah,
yoga is actually like a very deep anchor where I've always felt that okay, I'm waking up to a yoga, right? So, and I do it like 3 times a week, minimum every week. So, just waking up to a yoga practice has always set the tone for my day. So, I've always seen that whether I'm high, whether I'm low, whether I'm going through a challenging time or a purple patch, just waking up to yoga has actually kept me very balanced. And like you said, like it's not just about um, big things, but even the little things, it just gives you that energy and strength to deal with it in a very better way. And I think to every person in distress, I would highly recommend that they try yoga, because sometimes, someone's a little upset or in a depression. We say, come on, become happy. But it's not
yeah,
easy, it's easy for a person to say this, but for what the person's going through, they themselves know how tough it is. So
yeah,
I love the way my guru says, he's like, there's an action feeling cycle. So suppose we are feeling low and I
yeah,
say, no, no, come feel high. It may not be possible, but suppose
yeah,
I give a person an action to do and give them a way to feel better, then holding on
yeah,
to that action, they can keep getting that feeling. So I think for me, yoga is literally that action feeling cycle that every time I do yoga, I feel better. I feel better
exactly.
and I want to do more yoga.
More,
It's
yeah.
literally like a vicious,
Yeah,
a happy cycle, I would say.
cycle,
So
yeah.
it's worked well for me.
Yeah, same here. I would totally agree to this. Yeah.
Yes. And moving to the next question is that, Everything relies on consistency. And were there moments when you wanted to give up yoga? And what's been that one drive that actually kept you going with yoga?
Honestly, there were no such moment where I wanted to give up yoga. I mean, because I have seen such amazing changes in my life. I used to be a person who is very high on energy, who needs work all the time, who is so much, I need something or the other. I just can't sit idle. And there are too many things. So, yeah. And when I went to Rishikesh for my course, when I started doing yoga initially, initially I saw some physical changes in me. Then some kind of uh, stability, you can say, the balance. And then I decided, okay, I should do it professionally. I should learn it nicely and properly in depth. Then I went to Rishikesh. I did when I did the yoga there, when I learned it, and that was like, okay, I don't want to leave this, and this is one of the best decision of my life to take up yoga, continue it, and learn it from some great gurus, and inculcate in my life. So there was no such moment when I felt that okay, I can't do it. If there are days when I feel that okay, I should miss it today or something, I do that. So I basically do yoga 6 days a week. I try to do, and sometimes 7 days also. But if nothing, like I'm not talking about asanas, but I do my meditation almost every day. It's been 4 years now. Pranayamas and meditation is something I really want to keep me going, to keep me sane, to keep me uh, stable and everything. This is something I really enjoy doing it. It's not that it's not that it makes me feel अरे मैं उठ के क्यों कर रही हूँ. I am always happy. I'll wake up and do this. So it was never in past 4 years. It's more than 4 years now. Yeah, it is never like that I have thought, okay, I'll not do this and
Sure.
आज ये हो रहा है या ऐसा लग रहा है मुझे. If I'm not well, I avoid because my body needs rest or something. But there was never such kind of thought ever came in my mind. But then, if I don't do it for a week or something, sometimes something happens, I'm traveling or something, then I start missing it. Okay, I should do it. And a quick thing like for 30 minutes, if I'm traveling or something, I take out 30 minutes, I do stretchings and a little bit of pranayama. I do that.
So I think I agree and completely resonate. Like for me, I've never had a moment where I wanted to give up yoga because I think anyone who starts practicing and feeling the results is
Yeah,
is so happily, it's such a good addiction. Sometimes we say, oh, bad addiction, bad habit. For us, I think yoga becomes such a positive and happy addiction that why would you give it up, right? Like something
yeah,
that's working well for you. And I think for me, the after effect of anything matters a lot. Like, suppose you eat a lot of junk food. At that moment, you're enjoying it and you're relishing it. But
yeah,
afterwards, how you feel matters a lot to me. And that makes you
exactly.
feel sick. And for me, yoga, the after effect is so, so positive that actually I never want to give it up. And I do see or I've heard of people who really struggle with, being consistent with yoga. But I just feel like, once you really experience it and you know how good it is for you, why would
Hmm.
anyone want to give up something that's good for them? So I think that's my thought as well. So moving on to the next question. The last one is, did embracing yoga lead to deeper changes in other areas of your life, such as relationships, food, or even work?
I missed it. Can you just come again?
Yeah, so the question is that did embracing yoga lead to some deeper changes in your life with respect to food, relationships, work, and
A
how?
lot,
Yeah.
a lot. This is like I have gone through major changes. So I was a party girl, heavy party girl. I was a non-smoker always, but I used to drink a lot as in the weekend thing was there. And somehow after taking up yoga, all of this started going down. I mean, I never thought it that way कि मुझे छोड़ना है, I want to leave this or something, but all of this just खुद ही कम होता गया, and I don't enjoy alcohol or such kind of thing anymore, and that has really again impacted my mental and physical health a lot, amazingly. So, which is like later on, I came to know so many things with your gut health, your bloating, and so many things just went fine. And you won't believe this is something I am not boosting. I would still like to say now, every year I do this body health checkup. So, this is like my all my vitals and everything is coming fine since past 3 years now, and
Wow.
touch wood, I am just so happy about it. So I really don't do any such other things that मतलब lifestyle change कर लिया मैंने अपना, and that is like now it has become a routine. It's not a difficult stuff now. This is how my life is now, and but the changes what I have seen is like just amazing. Especially with my health, I could see a 360 change, honestly, because
Amazing.
I really had many issues after my pregnancy, as in for my gut health. And that was because I was not taking care of that. I was only focusing on my work and my kid, and I couldn't take care of my health at all. So, yes, there was this things. And eating junk and all, I have totally, it has gone out from my life. The only thing I indulge is sweet. This is something like I really like, and I indulge in that. But other than that, I have nothing. I don't enjoy eating much of junk. It's been years now of having uh, Maggies, pizzas, or something. They've like if there is some occasion I'm going somewhere, I had to eat, I eat it, but it's not that I'm having some craving, I'm ordering it or having it like that. These things have gone out of my life now. And this is
Amazing.
not forcibly, this has
Yeah.
just happened. How, why, I don't know. But these things matlab have छूटता गया.
Yeah. I think it's like, when you embrace the higher, the
Yeah,
lower
maybe.
just drops off by itself, right? And
Yeah, it
I
has.
think I've experienced the same thing. Like, naturally nowadays, my cravings are for a bowl of salad. Like my husband's like, okay, what are you craving? And I don't even know how to tell him that I'm craving a bowl of salad, or like I'm craving a bowl of fresh fruits. And this is not, like you said, it's not like I made a decision. It's just that
Yeah,
naturally the body starts wanting lighter, cleaner, better energy and better food for yourself. So I think I've
yeah,
shifted that. And even relationships, like I would definitely say that yoga has helped me to become so much more balanced in my approach to relationships and to people. Like, as a mother myself, I feel like I'm so much more calmer.